Alright, here we go. Welcome back to the Unwanted Undead Adventurer anime review, episode number 5. We're here reviewing the last 2 episodes released this season. Yes, I do know season 2 is coming. When? Don't know yet. As of currently, this has only been the anime I've come across where the first season's already concluded and they announced this thing before you start watching it. Yeah, this is like one of 2. The other being, I've been killing sliders for 300 years and I'm maxed out. Yeah, that's just been the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, yes, there's My Hero, obviously, but that one, I expected more seasons than that one. Actually, there's actually kind of one more I can think of. I think that is Overlord. Kind of. They did announce season 4 just before I watched. They announced in Germany there's possibility of season 4, but it wasn't confirmed like in the case of this one. So we're going to run a bit. So, in the case of these 2 episodes, so Rit proceeds to go through the maze. He does get lost for a bit, and then he ends up in the middle of the maze. There's a girl in the maze, and of course, basically, that he suspects this might be the Lord's daughter. I'm like, seems like a pretty reasonable explanation for this girl. I mean, she does know about this particular magic item. Could she be the Lord? We're about to find out. So after drinking for a bit, and of course, chat. Oh yeah, advice: don't look at the sun, because of course, basically, the maze is sort of a teleportation device. Eventually, late in the day, he does finally, after starting at the beginning, he does eventually get to the end of the maze. Reaches the mansion, and basically he gets to pick a magic item. And there's been several different ones. Like, let's see, there's a ball that keeps bouncing for some reason. And it reminds you, like, the appearance itself reminds me of the ball I saw over in Demon Slayer for a couple episodes. If I remember correctly, it was held by a demon who was hunting after this female doctor who was also a demon, but she had turned good by not eating humans, per se. Yes. And then we see like a magic item, particularly about a rat. Well, luckily he bring his rat with him. And then he comes across what appears to be a mini airship. I think, oh, it's a toy. And apparently uses mod. It's also a spy device. Excuse me. So, also you can kind of project where a little bit far away, but not too far, because it uses a lot of mana. And also, you think, oh, is this thing based upon the airships? Oh no. The airships that they bring up here, they bring up airships in the show, where they are based upon this one device that looks like something out of World War II, where the little helicopter blades. Yeah, some of the devices they have here is like, yeah, these devices are randomly. They do question who the heck created these labyrinths. It's a mystery that no one's able to solve yet. These labyrinths just randomly pop up. Well, in the case of Red's town he lives in, they have 2. One has been pretty much explored, except for one area which it was discovered, and the other one's been partially explored, but mostly put one level. So then, of course, he comes across like, oh, there's monster items, and one happens to be a vial for vampire blood. Yes, this particular vial is here to set up the events of the last episode. We'll get to that. So he ends up picking out the toy, and he also gets the vampire blood because it was sort of a thank you for not only completing the maze, but also being just quite nice. So, and then we see Isaac prepare the flowers to drink, like looks like blood, and gives it. By the way, the little girl, turns out she actually is the Lord. I'm like, that is not unusual for a show like this. I'm guessing apparently. Now, here's the thing: she's a collector. She collects magical items, and According to her, apparently Rit is like one of like 2 people who've ever actually completed the maze. Everyone just gives up after a while. Then of course he talks to Lorraine about it, and of course asks the obvious question that basically I'm sure people are curious: why in the world does he want to become a mythical adventurer? Well, he's also pondering basically drinking the vampire blood. So he does tell the reason for this, kind of to get revenge on a beast. So it's explained that apparently it looks like his parents and this girl they traveled with, a girl around his age who was an adventurer. So, and there's a plot element here that I've seen a few different shows, but not all of them per se. We'll get to that. So they're on this little travel thing, and they're attacked by, is it bandits? No, it's basically a giant wolf monster who kills the old lady with them, he kills the parents, and now it's presumed this girl might be his sister. He doesn't say it's his sister, just some girl he knew. It could be just friends per se, but they don't specifically say exactly of how he knows this girl. Just that's like, are they related? Are they friends? It's not very clear. So then they suspect to get away, and then the wolf catches up with them, and the wolf slashes at the girl, and then this mithril adventure pops up out of nowhere named Wilhel, they explain later on, where he takes on the wolf in this excellent fight sequence that they have here, and then the wolf just leaves, and then of course they take him by his back, and then of course you see young Rit where he's basically practicing with sword, and the adventure mentions basically, yeah, you can become an adventurer, but you have to wait till you're 15 because that's when you can actually legally register. You can practice all you want and basically train, get all the knowledge of the herbs, basically stuff he mentioned basically early on in the show, which really good advice. And of course, Lorraine put out, he basically gave the advice that was needed. And well, 10 years later, he got adventurer, and then he spends the next 10 years, and apparently the highest he rose was bronze. And then he debates for a bit, and then he drinks the vampire blood, and we see looks like to be him with normal-looking skin but with scars, and wings start popping out of his back. Yeah, and we'll get back to that. So. Oh, by the way, the whole thing of the Dream Adventure thing, he does take it up. Now, I have seen this particular plot idea from only, off the top of my head, like one anime I could think of. You're probably thinking, which one? Out of all the anime I've watched, over the course of the past 9 years of watching anime, the only anime I can think of that had this was Naruto. Yes, where Tsunade was fulfilling the dream of her boyfriend's dream of becoming the Hokage. Something she had no desire to being, but she became Hokage anyway to fulfill his dream. And that's the only I could think of, basically, that's like that. We have a character who dies. Some might think, oh, it's just a fantasy male character. It's a trope. We're a refrigerator trope. Kind of in a way. But she was a very, seems like in this one episode, she's picked this very strong character. She's not stupid. And there was no hint to the fact these two had a thing for each other as children. I mean, I'm sure he kind of liked her, but it's never really dealt upon. I mean, he's not exactly driven by revenge over this, because the whole thing of, like, a girl dying for a guy, it's been commonly referred to as a women refrigerator trope. Or in the case of, they had the reverse of this with like a guy dying to advance a female character, which, or okay, I've seen in Naruto they had this happen where Neji died to advance Naruto's relationship with Hinata. So it's a very common trope to use this thing, but it's done in a way where it's not downright obvious that this would happen. Yes, the girl was not alive in present day. Of course, they don't really confirm she died since she was slashed. excuse me, like I said, is she dead? They like in the case of the parents. Oh yeah, they're definitely dead because they weren't moving. She, of course, basically could probably still be alive, but they don't really say she's alive. They never confirmed she died. All they said was bringing back bodies. Like, are we assuming that she died? It's never really confirmed about this. And then, of course, Rit drinks the damn thing. And then, before we cut to what he looks like as a vampire, because he becomes a vampire here, we see the return of a character who has not been seen in the show since episode 2 of the series. And the adventure is a character who only appeared previously in episode 2. Rena. Yep, she comes back in this episode, which is like, that's interesting. Oh yeah. And apparently she's joined the Ritz and Laura party. Yeah. And I look at basically the studio who made the show Connect. They're a sub-studio of Silver Link. And the only show besides this one I've seen they've worked on have been Death March, Prelude Rhapsody. Oh, The Shy Hero of the Assassin Princesses. Yep, same show. So only the third series I've seen that they worked on? You're like, third? Oh yeah, third. Now, of course, is there anything coming up, basically, that they're working on? Well, basically, airing right now is The Shy Hero and the Assassin Princesses. The one that's coming up next year is a show called I Made Friends with the Second Prettiest Girl in My Class. Yeah, that is a... So... It should be interesting, basically, to discuss more of this stuff. Of course, Death March, they've confirmed season 2 of this one. Oh yeah, definitely. When it's coming out? Don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, but overall, basically, I have thoroughly enjoyed the show. I almost forgot to mention. So, when he becomes a vampire, before I talk about final thoughts, so vampire. So, he looks human. He actually has lips now, and it seems like though he doesn't wear the hood part of his outfit. He just pulls it down and just wears the mask over his mouth instead of covering his whole face. Also, his eyes are red. Now, because it's Japanese type vampire, that means he can actually walk in sunlight and eat normal food, but occasionally he might need to drink blood. Of course, no mention of garlic, but this is a Japanese vampire. The Japanese do not have the same they understand vampire, fangs, all that stuff, but the whole thing of like walking in sunlight, that is generally been common with them. Yes, Rit basically was a sort of vampire, or excuse me, a semi-vampire, being a Thal. Now he is a vampire, apparently a lesser vampire. As in case you're curious, though, have I ever seen a show that features a vampire with wings? I know Dracula occasionally has them, and some parents have seen him in, but in terms of Japanese anime, not that I could think of. No, vampires are generally not very common. Not a lot of the anime I've seen, I'd say a handful of them have vampires. But as if the main character is a vampire, of course he does mention, oh yeah, that you might go look for the guy. But apparently he made that up in the country. But yeah, it's a nice ending to it, and well, we do have season 2 coming. When? No idea. Because that's all it announced. It's like, we have season 2 coming. Apparently it was announced at the Overlap Banco 10th anniversary event just 7 months ago. Yeah, and they announced this roughly about I think about 9 months. Yeah, so right now it's been over a year since the show aired. But do I think that? Well, I don't know when it's gonna come back, but I know it is coming back per se. Yes. Am I looking forward to it? Oh God, yes, I am. hmm Because I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Overall, this season was really good. Before I start my next bench watching anime, I've got a couple other anime to work on. First being, I was reincarnated in 7 Prince. Okay, next video. Bye.